Hello and welcome to The Mill. I am your host, Dusty Crane, and this week we're talking about Jamie's tease for the Viticulture expansion, Wingspan Digital adds content and supported platforms, and the Wednesday Facebook live stream had a special guest who teased a super secret project. Let's get to it. As I mentioned last week, Viticulture recently celebrated its 8-year anniversary, and Jamie said if he was tagged in 100 social media posts of people playing Viticulture, I think it was 100 posts, maybe it was 50, or 20, I don't remember, we'd get a teaser for the expansion. Well, that happened, and the Viticulture Facebook group got the first look at the line art for the box cover of the coming Viticulture expansion. And in that reveal, it was announced that Andrew Bosley would be doing the art. If you're watching The Mill, you likely know the name. He did the art for Tapestry and is also well known for his work on Everdell. The announcement did cause some, myself included, to ask the question, where's Beth Sobel? Beth did the art for Viticulture, Tuscany, More Visitors, and Rhine Valley. Jamie addressed this in the comments of the tease, simply saying that Andrew's art is consistent in tone and style with previous Viticulture art. He went on to say that they had to switch artists, and Andrew came to mind as someone whose art would fit seamlessly, and I completely agree with that sentiment too. I did have a question in the Mill comments last week asking if I knew what the reason for Beth not being involved was, and two things came to mind. First, the game's already been developed, play-tested, and completed the solo design per the Stonemaier e-newsletter. Given the fact that Beth is a sought-after artist, it's possible the timelines just didn't match up, and given such a strong alternative, it may have just been a matter of schedules. Here's another spicy option. What if Beth not being the artist gives away some content in the expansion? Beth went on record as saying that she'll not be doing art for games that feature combat anymore. Well, I can't imagine a scenario in which combat would make sense in Viticulture as we know it, but if we look back at the art tease, there's ships on the horizon. Now, it could simply be a matter of import-export, but it also might be indicative of a new mechanic that introduces conflict, perhaps in a manner that Beth wasn't comfortable with. Again, this seems like a stretch, but then again, I'm also someone who didn't see the appeal of Wingspan when I first happened across a print and play copy while playtesting My Little Scythe. So maybe I'm not the best judge of what should or shouldn't be in a game. Speaking of Wingspan though, that segues nicely into my next bit of news. Wingspan Digital is available as of June 18, 2021 on Xbox One and Xbox Series X. And in addition to that, the Swift Start birds are available now too, on all platforms you can currently find Wingspan Digital. As of this video, those platforms include PC, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox Two. While it wasn't announced, I think it's probably safe to assume the Swift Start birds will be available on day one on iOS and iPadOS in July. Finally, I want to talk just a moment about the Wednesday Facebook live stream where Jamie had a guest this week, his girlfriend Megan. It was a fun chat, and I highly recommend you check it out if you're interested in the people behind the things that you love. Jamie took questions from Facebook and YouTube, and Megan picked several to answer, and talked on topics from favorite games, who's better at them, what are World of Warcraft alliances, and we even got this tidbit around the 19-minute mark.
Question that a few people asked is, would you ever design a board game?
I love playing games. I don't think I would ever design a game. I'll leave that to Jamie. But I have been doing a secret project in a similar but unrelated area.
Yeah, we're keeping that intentionally vague, but it has been fun to see Megan apply her some talents that we haven't mentioned today. It's a talent because we don't want to give it away, but there's a certain thing that Megan is very good at that she has been working on something for. Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
So she's going to save the game design for Jamie, but she is working on something too. It's something she's good at, but nothing they talked about in that live stream. Folks, part of my job here at The Mill is paying perhaps too much attention to Jamie and what he shares online, and I think I have a solid guess as to what this thing is. And I don't know if I would have thought of it if I hadn't seen a post over on BGG regarding the new tiles in the Between Two Castles expansion. One of the tiles in the Between Two Castles base game held spoilers for an unreleased game or two. I can't remember what with absolute certainty, but I want to say it was Red Rising and Pendulum. In any case, a recent thread over on BGG asked whether anyone had spotted any spoilers in the new tiles. They shared a high resolution picture with 2 tiles, the game room and the puzzle room. Y'all, Megan is great at puzzles. Jamie's mentioned this before on Instagram, where he's shown pictures of puzzles in progress. Another picture was a 3D puzzle. I want to say it was R2-D2. But in any case, her puzzle skills have been heralded more than once. You couple that fact with the fact that the puzzle room has a puzzle with the art for Between Two Castles and Mad King Ludwig on it, and I think you can make a pretty decent case for Stonemaier branching out into puzzles. After all, you have an artist making beautiful art for you, and I'm sure the art isn't always a square, so there's bound to be some cut off. Plus, on the box, you're throwing a title over it, adding logos and names. A puzzle could be a good way to just showcase the amazing art created for these games. Now, puzzles are probably a low profit margin product, but Stonemaier has been using the Stonemaier Champions program to drive sales to their own web shop. That means more money for them, so the otherwise slim profit margins might make puzzles worth trying out. What do you think? Does the smoke mean that there's fire? Is there anything to this puzzle guess? Do you watch Stonemaier content closer than I do, or do you have another idea of what this super secret project could be? Let me know in the comments. That is all I have for you this week. Let me know in the comments if you're excited about the Viticulture expansion, whether you picked up Wingspan Digital on Xbox, and whether or not you'd be interested in adding some Stonemaier puzzles to your game shelf collection. Or heck, even your wall decor after it's finished. Oh, one more thing. This weekend is Father's Day in the States. So happy Father's Day to you dads out there. And, I actually debated saying anything because it's not an international holiday. And some people struggle with becoming a dad. And some folks, like myself, have lost their dad. And others have strained relationships with their dad. And believe me, I get that. I want you to know that whatever your situation is, I hope you can find a reason to celebrate this weekend. So I'm going to say it anyway. Happy Father's Day, dads. Take care of yourselves and each other. Thanks for watching.